Jeffrey Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell is ready to reveal truth of the pedophilia client list as insiders. So why are Republicans blocking her?
On the PBD podcast, a bombshell unfolds as Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice, offers to expose the pedophile client list. But shockingly, Republicans vote to block the release of Epstein files, contradicting their own campaign promises. Is this cover-up a sign of far deeper corruption? And there's more. A year-old assassination attempt on President Trump was marred by official negligence. Let's break this down.
All right, so let's go to this. Why are Republicans blocking her? Ghislaine Maxwell, 63-year-old, serving 20 years for child sex trafficking charges related to pedophilia, Jeffrey Epstein web of underage girls, is willing to testify before Congress with a source stating, despite the rumors, Ghislaine was never offered any kind of plea deal. She would be more than happy to sit before Congress and tell her story. No one from the government has asked her to share what she knows.
A jailed key witness ready to spill, yet silence from the halls of power. This raises urgent questions about who truly controls the narrative, especially when no one steps forward to hear the truth.
She remains the only person to be jailed in connection to Epstein, and she would welcome the chance to tell the American public the truth. Controversy surrounds the Department of Justice claims that there's no Epstein client list and video suggesting the 2019 jail suicide, with a source close to Maxwell saying congressional hearings have been held into everything from JFK assassination to 9/11 JFK files rank up with those cases. Ghislaine would be willing to speak before Congress and tell her story, while President Trump posted on Truth Social. For years, it's been Epstein over and over again. Why are we not giving the publicity to files written by Obama, Crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration? Vinny, your thoughts on the story?
I mean, 1 week later from how crazy we were, and Adam, remember, Adam, you were saying how this is the story for crazy, stupid losers.
No,
well,
I just said losers.
Oh, losers. Well, I mean, sorry, I had a little bit more.
No. To clarify,
yeah,
I said people who are obsessed with this tend to be losers.
Well, did you see what happened, Adam? That week, for this past week, Google searches for Epstein, Ghislaine, this whole situation, you know how much percentage it was up?
I'm sure it was up
1,200%.
Oh.
Pat, can we play this really fast?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is there a ticker?
Because these are all the losers. Show all the losers. Go.
What a massive, unforced error by the Trump administration. Donald Trump would love this story to go away, but in fact, interest is climbing higher and higher, to quote Jackie Wilson. Look at this. Google searches for Epstein.
Do you hear it good or no? I'm on clips.
I can hear it. You can't hear clips. Play it again, Rob.
Jay, come on in here.
What a massive, unforced error by the Trump administration. Donald Trump would love this story to go away, but in fact, interest is climbing higher and higher, to quote Jackie Wilson. Look at this. Google searches for Epstein up 1,200% this week versus last. And get this, it is currently the top topic search with Trump on Google alongside his presidency. So Donald Trump normally, leans in stories in which there's controversy, like tariffs, for example. Yeah. This is a story in which he's trying to get away from.
Just with everything that's happening, okay, let's just call it what it is. Something is obviously off. I don't know if the president's name is involved. And again, me and Adam had a conversation. When people think of underage, like pedophilia, you're thinking of those guys from To Catch a Predator, where it's like a 40-year-old guy showing up in an apartment with a bag of Burger King and they're trying to hook up. We're not. What about hanging out at a party and there's a 16-year-old that is gorgeous, that doesn't look like she's 16, and you're there and you're doing whatever, and they have videos and photos. It's not necessarily that you're being with like an underage girl, but you got duped in this Mossad, blackmail, whatever honeypot, and now they have dirt on you because there's absolutely no way. Because people like me, Adam, the losers, that are fed up with all the stuff that we were promised, all the stuff. The war was going to end in Ukraine on day one. Bullshit. We're sending more weaponry to go over there, okay? All the accountability for the deep state, they're all chilling. They're all walking free. The Brennan and Comey thing, I don't give a shit about. And something is going on where everybody, we were promised everything. Bongino, everybody came in all riding high pat. The moment they came in, everything's changed. And now they're trying to tell us that we're crazy and we're the C words. I won't even say that word. So it's pissing me off. It's pissing me off because now they're trying to tell us, you guys move on. And when somebody like Ben Shapiro, of all people, is telling me not to look into something and then go, it's a conspiracy, I don't listen to it. Okay, it's absolutely horseshit. Something is up. And Pat, Ghislaine Maxwell, this might be a ploy. If she gets killed, guys, if she's actually going to go in front of a camera and testify in front of Congress, and she suicides herself, I want to see what the world is going to say. I want to see what the president's going to say and what all these people are going to say. That we're all crazy, because if she speaks and she gives names, it's over. It's over for her. She's a dead woman walking.
The stakes are deadly. Witnesses to scandal don't just face legal battles, they face existential threats. This chilling reality exposes a shadow system obstructing justice at the highest levels.
And by the way, before I go to Tom, Rob, you want to pull up the voting that they did last night, the results of it. So the Rules Committee voted 149, motion by McGovern to make in Order Amendment 50, which this was in regards to the files to be preserved and release any records related to Jeffrey Epstein. 5-7, they lost.
What?
And the people that said yes were all liberals, except for one Republican. And the people that said nay were all Republicans. Tom, why would Republicans not want to release all the records on Jeffrey Epstein?
This is now really, really, really bothering me. This vote last night, I asked this question. Why wouldn't all of these people, because this is what people talked about during the election, during the campaign. And by the way, during some of their campaigns too. It's not just the president. It was other people about reelect me, send me back to Washington, and I will make sure they're JFK, MLK, Epstein, the files are released. Some of these people, I want to find some of these people that were conservatives, they campaigned on that. You know, and Ro Khanna, who's been on this podcast, puts a motion out and says, okay, folks, I'll tell you what, let's all vote on it. Do we put a motion in place that says you should preserve and release the information? That's all Ro Khanna was doing there. And so, and it's just shocking who's protecting who, because this is like a clear cut, statement here. Oh, if he has something, we're not going to compel him in this forum to push it out.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they're saying. And that bothers me. This really bothers me when I'm told, don't look at anything, nothing to see here.
I have a position that I'm wondering, Tom,
But on this vote, these votes are bothersome.
That's what I was wondering. I'm trying to think strategy. That's all I'm thinking about right now. I'm trying to think strategy right now because it's one of two things. Either everybody there is there to protect the president, or everybody is taking this position because some sort of strategy. And I have some thoughts, but I want to go to Adam first.
Well,
Adam.
let me hear your thoughts.
Okay. In fact, I love that I literally just wrote, there's two things. Either Donald Trump is compromised, meaning they have something on him, number one, or number two, somebody else is saying, don't dare release it because we're on it.
Or there's another or.
Yeah.
Or there's another or. So let's go through all three ors.
They're using it?
So let's go through all three ors. So number one is Donald Trump's on it. Okay. All right. So let's say that's the one where he doesn't want to go through. That's an easy one. If it's on there, it's on there. If it's not, it's not. If it's on there, prove it. But my suspicion to think he's on there is so low because Obama would have had it.
Yep.
Biden would have had it. They would have done everything in their power.
But what if they're on it, Pat? But what if they're on it?
Let me make my point, and I'm gonna hear everybody's thoughts. So the second thing that to me is if Trump's on it, they would have used it, they would have destroyed him, they would have smashed him. They would have never let him get into the White House. Ever let him get to the White House. So that's one. Two, the Republicans don't want to release it because, a lot of them are on there. And, a lot of the money people are on there, so they don't want to release it because of whatever reason. Let's go to three. Politics is super nasty, right? So just think about the game of politics. Play the game.
Okay.
Not as an outsider, be one. We're not politicians. We're not in the game. You're a podcaster. You're giving opinions.
Yes.
You're giving your thoughts. You're giving your perspective. You're not in the arena. You're not playing the game in the arena, right? You're not.
We're spectators.
We're spectators in the game of politics.
Yes.
We're spectators in the game of politics. Okay. But not go inside, okay, and play the game of politics. When you wake up in the morning and you have ambitions of moving up in politics, not if you wake up in the morning like, I'm just going to do my job and that's what I'm going to do and what is the reports I need to look at to respond. No, that's a person that's just being a congressman or senator. I'm talking about you are super ambitious. Man, one day I want to be that president, vice president, House of Rep. I want to be Speaker of the House. You're super ambitious, right? Nothing wrong with the way you're there. What is the first thing you look for when you wake up in the morning? Controversy on your opponent to call their asses out, okay? You're looking for any fumble you look for to call them out. Any fumble to look for to call them out, right? Doesn't matter what it is. Boom. Like Newsom's the best at it. First thing in the morning he wakes up, forget about what's going on in California. The first thing he looks at is, did Trump have a fumble? Did DeSantis have a fumble? Did Nashville, Tennessee have a fumble? Did Texas have a fumble? Let me call their asses out. Why is he doing that? He's trying to be number one. He wants to be a president, okay? In the last 6 months, President Trump hasn't had a bigger fumble than this one. What has Clinton said about it?
Zero.
What has Hillary Clinton said about it?
Zero.
What's Biden said about it?
Nothing.
How about Jill? How about Barack? How about Michelle? How about Schumer? Why haven't they said anything about it? This is an easy opportunity to do one of these things.
100%.
You think Obama's going to get a let her chance like that go? You think Hillary? You think Hillary's going to let her chance go?
Crickets.
Can I ask why they haven't said anything? Why haven't you said anything? Is it because you're such a statesman and you're so noble and it's not the proper thing to do because we're not the president today and we're not like other people that go after the prior administration? I mean, Obama went
Never
after
stopped him
Bush.
before.
Obama went after Bush every chance. I've inherited this. I've inherited all of this. And how many times? Half of the Americans who never knew, a majority of immigrants who came to America and didn't know what the word inherited meant, they did right after Obama became president because he used the word every flipping day. I inherited this from the Bush previous administration. And how come you're not going after him? Why not? Rob, maybe I'm wrong. Can you go on one of these ChatGPT or Groks and just kind of search it and say, what have the biggest Democratic establishment voices said about the Epstein fumble President Trump had this past week? What has the biggest Democratic establishment voices have the biggest fumble said this week? Okay, let's just see what it says. And then we can specifically ask names. So, Ro Khanna, but these are not the biggest ones.
No.
Go bottom.
Nobody knows
Nobody
those guys.
knows those names. No, I'm saying ask specifically.
Like Bill
and say,
Clinton.
like figures like, what about Clinton's, Obama's, Biden's, Schumer,
Pelosi's.
the
Pelosi's.
Yeah, Pelosi's. Those types of names. That's the establishment,
I think Nancy did say something. I think she said something, Pat.
Let's see here.
Let's see.
Clinton's hasn't publicly commented on it.
I've been on vacation
Why
and I didn't have
wouldn't
good
you?
coverage.
Okay, but his past 7 visiting the White House 17 times and flying on Epstein Island in the early 2000s. Epstein went to the White House 17 times? Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Hillary Clinton has remained largely silent on the latest development. Okay, Obama's hasn't had any public reaction to Trump's Epstein. However, Trump's strategy of blaming Obama Clinton for scandal shows how it's deflecting responsibility. Biden hasn't issued anything, but Democrats in Congress, no, I'm not talking about Democrats. Schumer has amplified the issue, supporting demand for Epstein records and using conjunction. Okay, so that's one. Speaker Pelosi hasn't spoken about the recent fumble, but has historically led efforts to transparency. Okay, and this is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is generally going to be leaning a little bit to the left, right? Why haven't they? Why aren't they saying anything? Why are they quiet? So that leads me to think a guy sends me a message. I think Trump is playing 4D chess and all this other stuff. He's telling me this stuff. Okay, let's give that a little bit of credence. The fact that maybe they have so much intel that they're using this against them. Could it be? Could it be the fact that Obama's, Clinton's, all these guys are so quiet about this Epstein issue? They haven't said anything. They're just watching it from the outside. You're seeing Republicans fight each other. This is a perfect opportunity to jump in and say something. This is a very good opportunity to jump in and say something. You're not saying anything. Why aren't you saying anything? You've never been known for being noble. Your good friend Rahm Emanuel, who helped you with the elections when you were in Chicago and you were going to Schwartzman, hoping to get his support, and Rahm Emanuel and Schwartzman had a fight in that hotel room the event that took place, whether it was a Hotel Moore conference, Rahm Emanuel never let a crisis go to waste. Never. This is a crisis. You guys are letting it go to waste. Why are you letting it go to waste? I don't know. I don't know why you're letting it go to waste. I'm just curious. It's a value. It's a worthy question to ask
Very
to
valid.
see what's going on there.
And it's crazy that you brought up. It's like, think about that. Jeffrey Epstein visited the White House under Clinton 17 times. And do you guys remember, little fun fact, Mark Middleton, you remember who he was, Rob? Remember that guy? Special assistant to Bill Clinton? He's the guy that signed him on 7 times, signed him on to come see the president, come see the White House. And that's the same guy that suicided himself with a extension cord in a tree, hanged himself, shot himself with a shotgun and they couldn't find the shotgun. Weird. Weird how that happens, guys. Isn't that weird? That's the guy, right, Rob? Mark Middleton. That's the guy, remember they shot him and the detectives were like, yeah, this is suicide. They're like, but guess what? Can't find the gun.
The official narrative falls apart under scrutiny. When pivotal figures tied to scandal die under suspicious circumstances, it signals something deeper, a web of cover-ups and silence.
Weird. It's weird that they're eerily quiet.
Adam,
Why are you guys so
where are you
quiet?
at with this?
So, I've been watching a lot of people over the weekend sort of have very emotional responses to what's going on here. And I put these people in 3 categories. There's
Stupid, stupid, and really stupid?
That's just your 3rd category, Vinny.
Gotcha.
I'll save the best for last.
Gotcha.
There's the people who want the truth and they're frustrated and they have every right of knowing that. I totally get those people, totally understand that. The second tier of people, I believe, are people who are eating their popcorn watching this. It's like Game of Thrones and House of Cards and Tiger King all in one for these type of people. And then there's a third type of people, like my friend Vinny, who I love very much. And Jeffrey Epstein is living rent-free in your head. And you can't shake it. And every morning you wake up, you're like, dude, we need more information on Epstein.
Actually, I don't actually
It's like
listen.
you're watching the show.
That's not what I do in the morning.
And you're speculating, oh, it's this guy. It could be him. I don't know what's going on. When the reality is, and I mean this sincerely, you don't know shit, bro.
Oh, yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Because
I'll retort
because
when you're done.
if Pam Bondi is saying something, and Kash Patel is saying something.
Oh, I believe them.
And Dan Bongino
Oh,
is saying something,
then
and Trump is saying
the government
something.
wouldn't lie at him. You're right.
Okay,
The government would never lie.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you don't know. So I have the humility and I have the capacity to say, you know what? Does this matter? Yeah. Can I control any of this? 0.
This segment unravels the dangerous intersection of power, silence, and fear surrounding Jeffrey Epstein's dark network. Republicans blocking core evidence and Maxwell's isolation point to a deeper conspiracy, one that threatens justice and hides truths from the public. Coupled with even more alarming scrutiny of the failed assassination attempt on President Trump, the stakes have never been higher. Stay vigilant, question the silence, and drop your take below, because the story behind the story demands the light.